Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers, and after many more hours than I want to admit to, um, we look like we may be ready to try and lift this thing up. Oh, yeah, well, we'll talk about what's going on in a minute, but first we have to get started, so let's go. So, happy Monday, everybody. Hopefully, you had a fantastic weekend and are having a terrific day thus far. Yes, we got a bunch of stuff done this weekend, and I have been in Space Engineers for more time than I want to admit to, just on Saturday. Oh, alright, so what we did is we've gone ahead and welded up those 4 large hydrogen thrusters. We've got the 2 large hydrogen thrusters up here, and then the 12 large ion thrusters, all for lift. Right. I've thrown in a couple of thrusters over here for lateral control to mirror the 2 that we have welded up on the other side. Bring you around over here really quick. Those 2 thrusters there. Oh crap, I didn't finish this one. What am I missing? Large steel tubes. I may have those. Let's do that. Yeah, no, it really was just a ridiculous amount of time spent on this ship all weekend. Part of it was the fact that I ended up having to go to the far side of Earth, or Earth-like. That little waypoint over there, to buy uranium. I was able to bring back a couple of thousand units of uranium ore and a couple of hundred units of refined uranium. We're down to just over 19 million. Yeah, we spent like 30 some odd million or so on uranium, so the last of it should actually be refined. Hide empty. Another 40 units. I don't remember how much that gives us. It gives us a good deal though. Again, there's a good amount of it. So what we're doing here is we're going to throw a connector on the end of this, and we're already changed out what we were using for moving materials between the 2 ships. So now we have a connector here. So the idea is that we're going to pick this ship up, move it over ever so slightly, and try and get the connector onto here. And we should have, I have to actually move the whole thing over because, you know, it won't clear, otherwise we'll run into the base. So we're gonna do that, and hopefully it will all work. Did I leave parts in here? I don't remember if I left parts in here or not. I've got a bunch of parts, okay, but not all of the parts that I need. Let's do this really quick. And conveyor. So if basically what we're going to do first is I don't know, a bunch of stuff to. What we're going to do is we're going to turn on the lift thrusters, and then we are going. Well, we're going to turn on all the thrusters, and then we are going to cut this stuff out, and hopefully the ship hovers. I'm not sure if it's going to, but we're going to find out. Because I think it is currently set up as a station. Let's check that to make sure. It is. Yeah, so we're going to basically cut this out after turning on the thrusters and see what happens. Now, we actually have quite a bit of fuel in the system. but we're only about 3% full. So what that means is we're going to actually have to get this ship docked up over here, and then visit some of the waypoints that we have. Some of the stations elsewhere in orbit all offer us the ability to purchase hydrogen. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically use what's left of our money to buy as much hydrogen as we can. And I'm also going to do some mining because I've got some ice on the moon still. In fact, let's go here. We're going to turn all these off. So I was trying to figure out what stations I had nearby that we could actually get away with traveling to. But because I had to go to the Earth, that was, that was like half the bloody weekend going back and forth. Basically what I did is I just traveled down there, set myself up in the ship, landed it on the ground, waited for it to refresh, and just kept buying stuff until I got tired of doing that. And then once that was done, I flew back, and it was probably a good 4 hours worth of my day right there. Just traveling there and back. So, yeah. Alright, so enough of me complaining about that crap. Let's get our thrusters turned on. Now, I did set up a group for these. I think I have one. Thrusters all, which should be you guys as well. Yes. Because I had to add a couple of thrusters. Because as you saw, the port side nacelle is missing some. So we'll go back and add a few more of those if this doesn't work out. I want to do this from further up front. We're going to close you. Did I hit the wrong one? I did. Let's close you because I don't want to take the chance that we're going to have stuff breaking. We have enough problems with this ship as it is. I don't need just random stuff breaking. Yeah, there's more scrap from that ship that crashed. Alright. I keep finding just like random bits of debris, and I'm starting to think that maybe something on the ship blew up. But, yeah. Okay. Now, I do have a save back before I finished everything. But, oh, yeah, I guess we should turn the thrusters on first, huh? Okay, so we're going to grab these. Turn those on. Everything looks good. Everything looks good back there. Everything is powered over here. Alright, let's do it. The worst that happens is it all comes crashing down and kills me. Okay, so the question is, are you hovering because you haven't been converted? Is what I'm betting. Okay, yeah. Now the question is, it's kind of hovering, so does that mean we actually do have enough propulsion to keep this thing in the air? Or are we about to kill ourselves? Let's find out. Oh, this thing, wow, went through the door. Alright, let's turn that off. Alright. Oh, this could be bad. Okay, so one of two things is going to happen. This is going to work flawlessly, or it's going to blow up. Oh my god, it's
Ship
hovering.
fuel low.
It's hovering. Woo! Okay, so we're gonna tip, hopefully tip this thing back a little bit.
Ship fuel low.
Or not. I forgot to turn the reactors on.
Ship fuel low. Ship fuel low.
Okay, grab our groups. Okay, so the fact that this thing hovers on its own is amazing. I did not think that was going to be enough lift. Okay, so we actually have it. It is a ship. We know it is a ship, and that is good. Okay. We also know that this thing is throwing out more energy, or is consuming more energy than our batteries can actually deal with for any significant point of time. I think we've at full charge, we're probably only going to be able to run for 10 minutes just on batteries, which is fine. Just means we are going to need to grab the uranium that we have over here. And we have you guys. All of our reactors are now online. So remember that engines test and power consumption test we were talking about? Guess what we're going to go do right now? Run through people's bedrooms there. Alright. Oh, I need... gear. That's going to be an all group. We are going to have you switch lock. Okay, so with large reactors, we're only at 25%. That is awesome. Okay, that is absolutely fantastic, actually. Alright, so with everything else turned off, we want to get in here. We're going to go reactors. You are off. We want our standby reactors to be off. Kind of curious about those. Let's see, do we have... Okay, so you guys did pull some of the uranium. And you guys pulled the rest. Okay, that's good. Alright, so that lets us know that everything is working the way it's supposed to.
Fuel. No fuel.
Yeah. Our large reactors are powered, or are fueled at least a little bit. The small reactors are fueled with just a little bit. And the ship can hover. So that's good. Alright, so what that means now is we need... which way do I want to go? It's actually going to be faster to go out this way. Now I have turned off the auto doors. Yeah, for various reasons. But for now, that is working. Okay. So I need to head over here. We're going to grab some parts. The game is going to hang here for a few seconds. And what's great is that when I do this from your perspective, it looks like I'm just sitting there while I'm talking. On mine, when I fly over to have the autocomplete or the auto poll run, from the time that I click on the auto poll to the point where I get that everything was able to be pulled out message. You know, it takes depending on what it's pulling, it can take quite a while. I had so far the worst I've had was I want to say 45 or 50 seconds. But yeah, anyway. So I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna grab you. And that should be one below. I think that's enough. Because that's going to be on the ground. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it should be. That should be enough. That may actually be one block too many. But basically, we're just trying to get the ship over to there to get it locked up so we can actually get everything out of the old system and into the new system. And I want control panel. Forward base dock. There we go. That way I know what we're talking about when we're looking for it. And the other thing that I want to do is, once again, I always disable the strength, which I don't think I did on this one yet, because I haven't connected to it. Part of the reason for that, for those who don't know, is if you don't disable this at the strength, when you have two connectors that are trying to merge, well, I shouldn't say merge, when you have two connectors that are trying to lock, if you have that strength turned on, the connector will exert a magnetic force on the other connector. So if you have both of them at, say, 0.25, you have an effective power of 0.5, which, depending on the mass of the ship behind it, is oftentimes enough of a collision when those two fields get close enough to engage to actually destroy the connector or your ship if you're not careful, which is why I always turn that off. Now, if you have, like with what we have here, where it's the connector at the end of a I guess you could call it just an end of a line there, like that, and you're not worried about it, you can leave the mechanical on, especially if you're having problems seeing where the connectors are, with like where this is. I am actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to put a camera on this. Do I have steel plates? I do have steel plates. Okay. Let's go. I wanted to put it there, but I don't think it's going to let me. So let's put it here. And we are going to set it so that bar that you see is where the camera text is. So I want this to be that way. So that way when I'm looking through the camera, forward is the top of the screen, and back is the bottom of the screen. That way when I'm looking at it, I'm basically looking like this, so that I can see where we are in conjunction, or in comparison rather, to the connector. Right. And we are going to add one of you to the build planner really quick. Wait for it to catch up to us once again. Now that should be the only camera that we have. Right. We're going to check that orientation really quick just to make sure that something didn't change or that I didn't screw it up. Both are quite likely. Oh, I forgot you can't do that anymore. You actually have to be in a chair. Alright, let's go get in a chair. There we go. Yep. I have to do this up here anyway, so we're going to go ahead.
Fuel.
Yeah. Oh. I want camera. I want candy. See, now I want candy too. Alright. Damn it. Now I'm thinking about candy. Oh, man. Alright, so if we go... Yep, okay. And I can tell because of the way that the light's falling that that is where we need to be looking. Zoom works. I'm going to see, does that kick me back to external? No, it kicks me back to last. Okay. So that gives us, I think that gives us everything we really need. I'm just not sure about...
No fuel.
Yeah. Reactors. Oh, come on. That is large reactors all, which is good. We're going to toggle that block going off. Okay, so we're going to go 6, 1, 5. Hey, we are actually slowly moving. Basically what we're trying to do is just get enough of a clearance here. Oh, so much mass on this ship. Okay. Just drifting a little bit to the side there. A little more to the side. We need to... so look, the ship does technically move. Right. And what I may need to do is I may need to rotate the ship a little bit in order to get it to connect where we want it to connect and hopefully not hit the base. I mean, the worst case scenario we'll end up with is basically relocating the camera and the entire arm there. That looks pretty close, actually. I'm going to make sure we're not about to take something off the base here. Everything looks okay. Okay. And this is why we put cameras in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually center, I'm going to try and center this up on the camera. Because we just need it to drift slightly to the, well, to our left. So the ship will be drifting to the right. That should be pretty good. We want this to be... There you go. And this is going to be such lock. So when we get it into position, what we should get is the connector should switch over to ready to connect. And that should be a little bit further. Careful. So where the camera's at is basically the top of the, or the face of the connector. We should have the room for it. Looks like we actually brought it over too far. Ready to connect. So we can turn thrusters off, we can turn
No fuel.
reactor off, and we're now connected to the base. Oh, okay. That was more nerve-wracking than it needed to be. All right, so now what we want to do is we are going to grab all of our tanks. And basically anything that's yellow or red, or yeah, yellow or orange, we're going to not worry about. So we're just going to grab all of this. I'm ready to go. Wrong button. Make sure that's all of those. And we're basically just going to go ahead, once we have all of these sorted out, we're going to turn the tanks that we have to stockpile. And I have some tanks on the other ships, or on the other ship rather, that's already set to stockpile. I'm going to do this be tanks. Oh, that should be just the stuff on here, right? I want to make sure. Just check it one more time before you save it, otherwise you're going to have problems. Yep. And we're going to turn stockpile on. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to basically strip oxygen out of the rest of the system. And since all of the tanks on board are now set to stockpile, that's going to drain the tanks at the base really quickly. As you saw, we went from 3% to 5% in the time it took me to explain what was going on. So I have a feeling that this is not going to take too long because there's so many tanks on board that it's just, yeah, I'll be surprised if we break, say, 10 or 12% before the tanks over here are empty. In fact, these tanks are already dry. Yeah, those tanks are already dry. Oh. So what did we end up with? I'm kind of curious to see. %, and it's pulling a little bit more because there's still ice over in the other system. So I'm actually surprised we got that much out of it, quite frankly. All right. So now what we can do here is we can say, find our one with container 10. So we're going to say card 10. We're going to throw all of that in here. And we're going to start moving over the stuff that's left that just hasn't had a chance to be moved over yet. Oh, we burned a bunch of fuel. Alright, so there goes the last of the ice. So we may actually hit 15% then. That won't be too bad. Yeah, so you guys, actually, let's check. I want to make sure. Check to see if any of our assemblers are still queued up for stuff. Yeah, you can stop building that now. Yeah, you can stop building that. Basic assembler and survival kit. Okay. So we can go ahead and start moving this stuff out, like all of our plates and such. And you guys are out. Any more? Awesome. Alright, so I don't think I have. Yeah, okay, let's go with this one. We'll name you ingots because we can. Hey, grab the right one. Okay. what we're going to do is we're going to start stripping the rest of the stuff out of here. Like I said, mainly just to get it all over here so we can be done with this base. Because once this is all transferred over, that will allow us to start planning on getting off the moon. So I think that's... you were going to call gravel. So the only thing we really still have to do at this point is put gravity control on the ship. We still haven't put a grav generator in. And then obviously finish... of course it would. Okay. You're actually going to be components, and you will be gravel. Grill. No, gravel. Thank you. All right, that works for me. Okay. We'll just have it for gravel here. And you will now be gravel 2 unless you've got something in your inventory. No. There we go. Alright, that makes it nice and simple. We've gotten, I think that's... So what we're looking for is to make sure that all of these are white, because that tells us that those are the cargo boxes on our grid. And we want to make sure that... So the heavy lifter is the yellow stuff, so we're not touching anything in the heavy lifter for right now. Orange is the base. Let's... find cargo 3. Works. So we're going to start removing the stuff from the base and moving that over. And it looks like that's all the stuff from the base. Awesome. Well, that was simple. Barely an inconvenience. Sorry. For the folks who know where that's from, awesome. For the folks who don't, yeah, we'll explain it to you later. Anyway, okay, so I think that's going to do it for us for today. Got a lot more done than I was expecting to do, and I'm not going to lie, I really did think the ship was going to blow up. So I'm happy that it didn't. It's always a nice day when it doesn't explode, but it's more entertaining when it does. But on that note, we're going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to throw those down in the section below. If you're new to the channel, I'm sure you know the routine by now. Be sure to smack that subscribe button. If you want to be kept up to date, be sure to hit the notification icon. Looks like a little bell next to subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw those down in the section below, as the comments are always enjoyable, and the feedback lets me know if you're liking things or not, and helps me fine-tune things around here a little bit better. Oh, okay. We have done everything we needed to do. The only thing left is to build. Well, we need to finish doing the armor on the new ship. But now that we have gotten everything where we need it, I think we're going to leave the base as it is for right now, because we're pulling power off of it. That's actually helping charge all of our batteries, which is good. Yeah, I think we're actually at the point now where we're using as much power as we're generating, which is kind of cool. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy your week. And we'll see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Alright, so then I guess we just start breaking portions of this base down, maybe? I may have to disassemble a portion of the base. Well, we'll finish breaking down the base out there, and then we'll worry about it.